And the bridge here on Jackson Street in downtown Joliet appears to be out. Wonder if somebody imitating Jake and Elwood tried to jump this thing. Couldn't help myself, I had to make a Blues Brothers reference. I am in Joliet after all, a town that's featured in the movie. Not as prominently as Chicago is, but one that's featured nonetheless. Greetings friends, welcome back to Mike Allen from Chicagoland. Back with another video, as I mentioned before, coming to you from downtown Joliet, Illinois. And I'm going to be walking inside the Joliet Memorial Museum and Route 66 Welcome Center. More Route 66 content, I know, but this is a passion of mine and something that I've been really interested in since I was a kid. And standing right behind me is one of the historical markers of the road. And I would say that, I can't speak for other states, but the state of Illinois has done an outstanding job of getting this road memorialized. People have put in a lot of time and effort into getting, markers up and restoring old gas stations, restoring museums. So we're gonna head inside and hope my small audience enjoys this time at the Joliet Museum and Route 66 Welcome Center. Come along with me, oh ye few.
Oh ye few.
Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, let's get started. Here's the marker I was talking about just now. Welcome to Route 66 in Joliet, Illinois. I saw one of these in Pontiac. I've seen them in Bloomington. And I'm sure if you continue on down the road, you'll see many of these types of information stands here. One thing unrelated to the video, I just had to show this. Joliet YMCA 1927. It's got all these old buildings here in downtown Joliet. Here's a statue dedicated to Route 66. It says November 11th, 1926. Here inside the gift shop, they've got tons of Route 66 memorabilia. And Jake and Elwood was featured quite prominently here in the gift shop. Love how they throw the reference to the movie here. They were on a mission from God line. Mugshot of Joliet Jake Blues, played by the late great John Belushi. Some Blues Brothers t-shirts. Their hat and sunglasses. So the museum entrance is undergoing some renovations, so they're having me go through this courtyard here. And it is a beautiful day, so don't mind being outside a little more. Here's a view from the top. There's the old YMCA building that we were at. This here is the Apollo lunar landing simulator here inside the museum. Move joystick to start the simulation. Okay, nothing seems to be happening here. That's all right, I'll just show you the rest of this simulation. Do we move this joystick, see if that works? There we go.
We separated from the planned service module a few hours ago and changed our orbit. About 8 minutes ago, we fired our engine to start our descent. Now we are in our final approach to the landing site in the Hadley Apennine area of the moon. As we descend, we can look at the gauges and see our attitude now at pitch up.
Joliet Jackhammers, I believe they're the independent league baseball team here in town. So jersey and bat. And then I'll come back here to the stadium where they play in, which is not too far from here. And the guy downstairs inside the gift shop was telling me that this is inside an old church. See all these beautiful stained glass windows here. This display here talks about Joliet transforming from a farm community into a sprawling suburb. There's a picture of the suburban houses popping up. There's an old 1950s era transistor radio. Every time I see a transistor radio, I think of the scene in Major League 2 when the skipper's in the hospital and he wanted to listen to the game on a old-time transistor radio. Take a look at this old Motorola television set. That's probably only about a 12 to 15-inch screen. These old school tube televisions that you can't find anymore. Illinois Bell, better living by telephone. I'm trying to remember, what did Gilda Radner used to say on Saturday Night Live? We're the phone company. We don't care because we don't have to. So this exhibit here talks about the moon missions and how aeronautical engineer from Joliet named John C. Hobolt was instrumental in helping make this happen. And in this room talks about that. All those Apollo missions. Some moon footprints. Feet are a little bit bigger than Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin's. So they talk about Hobolt's role, how he convinced NASA that liftoff from the moon required a specifically designed lunar lander and could not be done with a large spacecraft. When Columbia and the Eagle successfully linked in lunar orbit, Hobolt's lunar orbit rendezvous theory became a reality. You know, I remember reading about the Apollo 13 mission and how the men had to head to the lunar lander and use it as a lifeboat. And one of the things that I found very intriguing was that any false move, like something like a leg got kicked out somewhere, they could completely blast through the very thin sections of the lunar lander and basically vent their entire atmosphere. So that was very interesting to hear, because yes, those vehicles did have to be very lightweight in order to, be able to blast off from the moon and rendezvous back up with the capsule that was orbiting the moon at the time. It's a picture of Joliet Memorial Stadium. It's crazy because that whole area is just built up now. No farmland surrounding that place anymore. Here's an exhibit displaying some of the old-fashioned typewriters. Here's an old streetcar. They served the city's transportation needs from around the early 1900s till about 1934.
Then taking a show at the beautiful Rialto instead of subtracting. Hello! What's your special today?
Here's a replica. The museum's interpretation of the Illinois and Michigan Canal, which started in 1836 and was finally finished in 1848. And it linked up from Bridgeport, which is a neighborhood in Chicago, all the way to LaSalle, Illinois. Here's another room with some more information about John Hobolt. That's his parents. Some of the things he did growing up. Obviously was a math wizard. It's amazing that a Joliet native played such a hand in the moon landing. commendation from rocket scientist Werner von Braun. And John was celebrated on September 18th, 1969 for his work on the Apollo program. There he is with his family. Stepped outside the museum now, and in 2016 the city erected this 7-foot historic marker here to signify that Route 66 and the Lincoln Highway intersected here between 1926 and 1940. This is downtown Joliet at the corner of Chicago, which is right here. This is the old Lincoln Highway, or Route 30. And I believe this is Cass Street here, so this was the old Route 66. This is the intersection. And I was mistaken, this is Chicago Avenue. And this here is Cass. There's the famous Rialto Theatre along old Route 66, which entertain such acts as Johnny Cash, Liberace, among others. There's a better view of this amazing building from the front. Route 66 Diner, which unfortunately is closed for the day. Otherwise, I'd stop inside. Here's a corridor of old Route 66. Back in its heyday of a 4-lane divided highway when the route expanded. Had to stop off and check this out, the Bluesmobile, complete with the microphone on top that Elwood Blues traded the Cadillac for. That Bluesmobile sits right along old Route 66 here at this food and fuel station. Down with an Italian beef restaurant, and there's the Bluesmobile. Stopped off in the town of Elwood, about 15 minutes south of Joliet, and this here's Douglas Street, in what was once Route 66 back in the day, and I believe this section over here is a part of the old Mother Road that was unearthed several years ago, so you can drive on the original brick pavement. Don't quote me on this, but I think this is it right here. And what town along Route 66 wouldn't be complete without another one of these roadside placards here? Elwood Arsenal, help from the home front. Talks about how the town was turned into a munitions manufacturing hub before and during World War II. Gonna make the 15-minute trek back up to Joliet and visit one more spot. Something that I've been wanting to visit for a long time that was featured in one of my favorite movies. Now, fans of the movie Blues Brothers will recognize this building here, the old Joliet Prison. Now, they do offer tours. I don't have time to do the tour today. Maybe in another video I'll do the full prison tour, but I just had to come here and visit this one spot here along the side of the building. And as soon as we get up to it, those of you that have seen the movie will recognize the door that I'm talking about. And this is it. This is where Joliet Jake walked out of the old Joliet Prison. Prison guard tower up there. And he walked over to the Bluesmobile where Elwood was waiting to pick him up right across the street here. Here's the angle from across the street. Joliet, old Joliet Prison. The door where Joliet Jake walked out of. So thank you again to my small audience for joining me on this journey through Route 66 and visiting the old prison, Elwood, Illinois, and the Bluesmobile in front of the gas station along old Route 66. So, number of ways you can help me out with this channel. I'll put them all down in the description below. Thank you again for joining me, and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.